Children, and welcome to this previous year session on ICSE board. So let's begin with the multiple choice questions. That is the very first question. It says when a bell fixed on a cycle rings, then the energy conversion that takes place is, four options are given: gravitational potential energy to sound energy, kinetic energy to sound energy to electrical energy, and the fourth option is sound energy to mechanical energy. So here we can say that the bell that is fixed on the cycle, it rings when pressure by fingers is applied. So mechanical energy is converted into sound energy in this particular example. So what is the right answer? Kinetic energy to sound energy, right? Let's have a look at the new question. It says a door lock is opened by turning the handle of length 0.2 meter. If the moment of force produced is 1 Newton meter, then the minimum force required is, four options are given: 5 Newton, 10 Newton, 20 Newton, 0.2 Newton. Let us see the answer to this. So we know that the moment of force is given by the force multiplied by perpendicular distance from the line of action of the force. Let's put the value. So 1 is equal to F multiplied by 0.2. So F is equal to 1 by 0.2, that gives me 5 Newton. So what is the correct option? Option A is the correct option, that is 5 Newton. Let us have a look at the new question. It says a force F moves a load from A to C as shown in the figure given below. For the calculation of the work done, which of these lengths would you use at the displacement? So let us see the options. A is 3 meter, B is 4 meter, C is 5 meter, and D is 7 meter. Let us see the solution. So displacement, as we know, should be in the direction of force. So definitely the direction of force, as you see, is towards AC, that is 5 meter. So 5 meter is the final answer. Straightforward, looking at the figure, we can identify the answer. Let us see the next question, that is the fourth question. A radioactive nucleus containing 128 nucleons emits a beta particle. After beta emission, the number of nucleons present in the nucleus will be 128, 129, 124 or 127. Let us see the solution. So the number of nucleons, that is mass number, does not change due to beta emission. Only atomic number will increase by 1. So what will be the answer here? Since it does not change, the answer will be 128. Let's have a look at the next question. This is an assertion reasoning question. It says ultraviolet radiations are scattered more as compared to the microwave radiations. That is the assertion given. The reason for this is given, which is wavelength of ultraviolet radiations is more than the wavelength of microwave radiations. So four options are there, both A and R are true. Second is A is true but R is false. Third is A is false but R is true. And D is both A and R are false. So here is the solution. As wavelength decreases, scattering increases. Wavelength of ultraviolet is less than the wavelength of microwave. Hence, scattering of ultraviolet is more than that of microwave. Hence, we can say that the assertion is true, but reason is false. So, assertion is true and R is false. Let's pick up a new question. This is question number 6. It says when the stem of vibrating tuning fork is pressed on a table, the table top starts vibrating. These vibrations are definitely an example of resonance, natural vibrations, forced vibrations, damped vibrations. So when the stem of a vibrating tuning fork is pressed on a table, the table top starts vibrating due to the periodic force applied by the tuning fork. This is an example of forced vibration. So forced vibration is the correct answer. Let's have a look at the next question. Which of the following is the class 3 lever? Pair of scissors, wheelbarrow, crowbar, human forearm. So the answer to this is, for class 3 lever, force is applied in between fulcrum and the load. So in human forearm, elbow is the pivot, bicep muscle applies the force and load is placed on the palm. Hence, It is a class 3 liver. So human forearm is the right answer to this. Let's have a look at the new question. It says the specific resistance of a conductor depends on its length, material, area of cross section, radius. So specific resistance is independent of the dimension of the conductor. It depends on the material of the conductor. So material, that is option B, is the right option. Let us see the new question, that is question number 9. It says identify the option that displays the correct wiring with correct color code. So this is option A, option B, option C and option D. 4 figures are given to us and we have to identify the correct option, that is the correct wiring with the color code. So from mains, blue wire, which is neutral, should directly reach the appliance and the brown wire should reach the appliance through a switch. So definitely we have option A as the correct option. Let's continue further. Let us have a look at the next question now. It says the potential difference between terminals of a cell in a closed electric circuit is terminal voltage, electromotive force, voltage drop, none of these. Let us see the solution. The potential difference between terminals of a cell in open circuited condition is termed as electromotive force. The potential difference between terminals of a cell in closed circuited condition is termed as terminal voltage. So what is the right answer? Terminal voltage is the right answer or the correct answer. Let's have a look at the new question. It says, during melting of ice at 0 degrees Celsius, the energy is released and temperature remains constant, or energy is absorbed and temperature remains constant, or energy is released and temperature decreases, or energy is absorbed and temperature increases. So here during melting, ice requires latent heat, that is a form of energy, and temperature remains constant at its melting point. So temperature is constant and energy is absorbed. So the next question says, linear magnification produced by a concave lens is m less than 1, m greater than 1, m equal to 1 or m equal to 2. So concave lens always produces virtual, erected image smaller than the object, hence the magnification is less than 1. So m will be less than 1. Option A is the right option. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, a radioactive element is placed in an evacuated chamber. Then the rate of radioactive decay will decrease, increase, remain unchanged, or depend on the surrounding temperature. Let us see the solution. Rate of radioactive elements is determined by the properties of the nucleus of an atom. So it does not change by environment, that is external factors. That is, it remains unchanged. Let us see a new question. The graph given below shows heat energy supplied against change in temperature when no energy is lost to the surrounding. The slope of this graph will give specific heat capacity, latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization, heat capacity. Let us have a look at the solution now. Slope of the graph gives the amount of heat required for unit rise of temperature. This is termed as the heat capacity. So heat capacity is the right answer. Let us see one last question based on MCQ. It says a block of glass is pushed into the path of the light as shown below. Then the converging point X will, this is the figure, move away from the slab, move towards the slab, not shift, or move towards the left side of the lens. The light passing through glass slab will bend towards the normal, and after coming out in the air, the light will converge out at a point away from the glass slab. So it goes away from the glass slab. So the answer to this is it moves away from the glass slab, that is option A. Now let us have a look at section A, question number 2, the first part. In the following atoms, which one is a radioisotope? Give one use of isotope. So we have to identify which one of these is radioisotope. So carbon 14 is a radioisotope because of the instability of the nucleus used for carbon dating. Then name the class of the lever shown in the picture below. This question was asked for 3 marks. And this is class 2. Let's have a look at the next question. Fill in the blanks. The first part says, when a stone tied to a string is rotated in a horizontal plane, the tension in the string provides dash force necessary for circular motion. So when a stone tied to a string is rotated in a horizontal plane, the tension in the string provides centripetal force necessary for circular motion. Centripetal is the answer. Part B says, work done by this force at any instant is dash. Work done by this force at any instant is 0. Let's have a look at a new question now. A non-uniform beam of weight 120 Newton pivoted at one end is shown in the diagram below. Calculate the value of F to keep the beam in equilibrium. So to calculate the value, firstly, we know that the weight of the beam will produce a clockwise moment and the applied force F will produce a clockwise moment. So equating the moment of force, we get 120 multiplied by 0.2 is equal to F multiplied by 0.8. So F will be equal to 120 multiplied by 0.2 divided by 0.8, and the value of F that you get is 30 Newton. The next question says, Meera chose to use a block and tackle system of 9 pulleys instead of a single movable pulley to lift a heavy load. What is the advantage of using a block and tackle system over a single movable pulley? The second part says, why should she connect more number of pulleys in the upper fixed block? This question was asked for 2 marks. The solution to this is, mechanical advantage using a block and tackle system of 9 pulleys is 9, whereas the mechanical advantage of a single movable pulley is 2. Second part, increase of number of pulley increases mechanical advantage. Let us see a new question, question number 5 of section AQ2. Sumit does 600 joule of work in 10 minutes and Amit does 300 joule of work in 20 minutes. Calculate the ratio of the powers delivered by them. Let us see the solution. So power of Sumit by power of Amit, that is work done by time, the whole by work done by time. On the upper part we have the values for Sumit, and for lower part we have the values for Amit, that is 600 by 10, the whole by 300 by 20, and once you solve this further you get 4:1. So we have got the ratio of the powers delivered by Sumit to Amit is 4:1. Let's have a look at the sixth question now. It says 5 bulbs are connected in series in a room, 1 bulb is fused, it is removed, and remaining 4 bulbs are again connected in series to the same circuit. What will be the effect on the following physical quantities? Increase, decrease, or remain same? A is resistance, B is intensity of light. This question is asked for 2 marks. We'll talk about the resistance first. So resistance will decrease. And what about the current? That is, the intensity of light increases as the resistance decreases, as resistance and current are inversely proportional to each other. Let's see a new problem. Rohan conducted experiments on echo in different media. He observed that a minimum distance of x meters is required for the echo to be heard in oxygen and y meters in benzene. Compare x and y. Justify your answer. Speed of sound in oxygen is 340 meter per second. Speed of sound in benzene is 200 meter per second. So, by applying the formula, D is equal to V multiplied by 0.1 by 2, and for oxygen we have X is equal to 340 multiplied by 0.1 by 2, that gives me 17 meter. And for benzene, X is equal to 200 multiplied by 0.1 by 2, that is 10 meter. So here we need to find out the ratio, and the ratio is 17:10. Now we have question number 3 of section A. This is the first question. It says, in a reading glass, what is the position of the object with respect to the convex lens used? The second question says, why can we not use concave lens for the same purpose? Asked for 2 marks. So in between the optical center and focus is the position of the object with respect to the convex lens used. And for the second question, we have the convex lens produces reduced size image. Let's have a look at the next question, question number 2 of section A, question 3. A fuse is rated 5 ampere. Can it be used with a geyser rated 1540 watt or 220 volt? Write yes or no. Give supporting calculations to justify your answer. Let us see the solution now. We know that I is equal to P by V, that is 1540 by 220, that gives you 7 ampere. Hence, a 5 ampere rated fuse will blow off for the geyser. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, state 2 factors affecting the speed of rotation of the coil in a DC motor. Let us see the solution. The speed of the rotation may be increased by increasing the number of turns of the armature and increasing the applied battery EMF. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, how much heat is required to convert 500 gram of ice at 0 degree Celsius to water at 0 degree Celsius? The latent heat of fusion of ice is 330 joule per gram. So required heat is Q is equal to M times L, that is 500, which is your mass, multiplied by the latent heat, which is 330, and that gives you 1,65,000 joules. Simple, straightforward. Let's have a look at a new question. It says, copy and complete the nuclear reaction by fill in the blanks. So this nuclear reaction is already given to us. We're supposed to fill the blanks here. So you can see we have 141 and 36. Perfect. Let's continue. Now let's move on to section B, question 4. The first question says, the image of a candle flame placed at a distance of 36 cm from a spherical lens is formed on a screen placed at a distance of 72 cm from the lens. Calculate the focal length of the lens and its power. So we know the formula that 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. So that gives me 1 by 72 plus 1 by 36 is equal to 1 by F. You solve this further, you get 1 by F is equal to 3 by 72. So that is 1 by 24 and F is equal to 24 centimeter. That is 0.24 meters. Now what is the power? The power is given by 1 by F, that is 1 by 24 by 100, that is 1 by 0.24, that gives me 4.17, right? So that is the power of lens. Let's have a look at the new question. It says, below is an incomplete table showing the arrangement of electromagnetic spectrum in the increasing order of their wavelength. Complete the table. So here we are supposed to complete the table. Talking about gamma rays, X-ray, UV rays, visible rays, infrared, A and radioactive waves. The first question says, identify the radiation A. The second says, name the radiation used to detect fracture in bones. The third one has, name one property both common to A and radioactive waves. A is microwave. The answer for B is X-rays. The answer for C is both have same speed in vacuum. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, why do we use red color as a danger signal on the top of a skyscraper? So red color is used as a danger signal because it is scattered least due to its longest wavelength in the visible range. Hence, it is visible from a very long distance. Then let us talk about the diagram. The diagram below shows the path of a blue ray through the prism. Calculate the critical angle of the material of the prism for blue color. What is the measure of the angle for this prism A? And the third question says, which color should replace the blue ray for the ray to undergo total internal reflection? Let us see the solution. For the first part, incident ray is normal, that is 90 degrees to the surface AB of the prism, hence the angle of incidence for the incident ray is 43 degrees, that is 133 minus 90. This equals the critical angle because the incident ray is reflected at 90 degrees. So critical angle is 43 degrees. Let's have a look at the next question, that is section B, question number 5, first part. The A part says refractive index of glass with respect to water is 9/8. Find the refractive index of water with respect to glass. Second part says name the principle used to find the value in part A. Third part says if we change the temperature of water, then will the ratio 9/8 remain the same? Right, yes or no? So refractive index of the glass with respect to water is 9/8. Hence the refractive index of water with respect to glass is 8/9. And the B part talks about the principle of reversibility. No. With rising temperature, the medium's refractive index falls due to an increase in the speed of light in the medium, and same is true for the vice versa situation as well. Let's have a look at the next question, that is question 2, part 2 you can say of section B, question 5. Light travels a distance of 10x units in time t1 in vacuum, and it travels a distance of x units in time t2 in denser medium. Using this information, answer the questions that follows. Light covers a distance of 20x units in time t1 in diamond, state true or false. The second part says calculate the refractive index of the medium in terms of t1 and t2. So the statement is false, the first statement, because diamond is a denser medium than vacuum, hence in it light cannot cover longer distance than that in vacuum. For the second part, the speed of light in vacuum can be given by 10x by t1, and the speed of light in the medium is given by x by t1. So the refractive index of the medium is the ratio of the speed of light in vacuum by the speed of light in medium, that is 10x by t1 by x by t2. That gives you 10 t2 by t1. Let's have a look at the new question. It says a monochromatic ray of light is incident on an equilateral prism placed at minimum deviation position with an angle of incidence 45 degrees as shown in the diagram. Copy the diagram and complete the path of the ray PQ. State two factors on which the angle of deviation depends. So here we have the figure, and the angle of deviation depends on the angle of incidence, refractive index, material of the prism, the angle of the prism, wavelength of the light used. Let's have a look at the new question. It says define center of gravity. So center of gravity is the point where the mass of the whole body appears to be concentrated. B part says a hollow ice cream cone has height 6 cm. Where is the position of its center of gravity from the broad base? Second part, will its position change when it is filled completely with honey? Right, yes or no? Let's see the solution. The center of gravity from the broad base is at a height of h by 3, which is 6 by 3, that gives you 2 centimeters. So, the second question The answer to that will be yes, the position of center of gravity will change when the cone is filled with honey, as honey adds uniform mass distribution, thus shifting the center of gravity higher than that of the hollow cone. The second question says, two identical marbles A and B are rolled down path 1 and path 2 respectively. Path 1 is frictionless and path 2 is rough. Which marble will surely reach the next peak? Along which path the mechanical energy will be conserved? Along which path is the law of conservation of energy obeyed? So the first question, marble A will reach the top as there will be no energy loss on the frictionless road. For part B, mechanical energy is conserved when no frictional force is acting. Thus, mechanical energy will be conserved along path 1. In part 2, some mechanical energy is converted into heat and sound due to friction, so the total mechanical energy is not conserved. Since energy can't be created or destroyed, the law of conservation of energy applies to both the paths. That is the answer to your third question. So here is the third part, which says given are two pulleys, copy and complete the labeled diagram connecting the two pulleys with a tackle to obtain velocity ratio equal to 2. If the load is 48 kgf and efficiency is 80%, then calculate mechanical advantage and the effort needed to lift the load. So firstly, we will find out the mechanical advantage by putting the values of efficiency and the value given, which is 2, multiply the mechanical advantage is 1.6 and the effort is load by mechanical advantage. So effort will be 48 by 1.6, that gives you 30, right? I hope this is clear to all of you. Let's continue. So let us see the next question, question 7, the first part. Name the waves used in sonar. And second, the figure is given. In the above diagram, Lata stands between two cliffs and claps her hand. Determine the time taken by her to hear the first echo. Speed of sound in air is 320 meter per second. Let us see the solution. So what kind of wave? Ultrasonic wave. Lata cannot clearly distinguish the sound reflected from cliff A, since the distance is less than the minimum distance required to hear distinct echo. So she will hear the sound reflected from cliff B as first echo. So she'll hear the first echo after time t, which is 2d by v, that is 2 multiplied by 160 divided by 320, and that is 1 second. Let us see the new question, that is the second part. Complete the following radioactive reaction. And second question says, uranium is available in two forms. Which of the two isotopes of uranium is more fissionable? So here is the answer to the first part.
X atomic number 90, atomic weight 234 gives Y atomic number 88, atomic weight 230 plus helium atomic number 2, atomic weight 4 further gives Z atomic number 91, atomic weight 234 plus E atomic number -1, atomic weight 0.
And uranium 235 is the isotope that is more fissionable. The next question says, in the given diagram, a vibrating tuning fork is kept near the mouth of a burette filled with water. The length of the air column is adjusted by opening the tap of the burette. At a length of 5 cm of the air column, a loud sound is heard. Name the phenomenon illustrated by the above experiment. Why is a loud sound heard at this particular length? If the present tuning fork is replaced with a tuning fork of higher frequency, should the length of the air column increase or decrease to produce a loud sound? Give reason. So the phenomenon here is resonance, and the reason for why loud sound is heard at this particular length is natural frequency of the air column matched with the frequency of the tuning fork. The third part is length of air column should decrease since the frequency is inversely proportional to the air column. Let's have a look at the next question. It says the voltage current readings of a certain material are shown in the table given below. The voltage and current is given. When voltage is 10 volt, the current is 2 ampere. For 20 volt, 3 ampere. For 30 volt, 4 ampere. Study the table and state whether the conductor used is ohmic or non-ohmic. Justify your answer. And then state Ohm's law as well. So the conductor is non-ohmic as the ratio of V by I is not constant for different readings. The resistance is not constant. It increases as voltage and current increases. Ohm's law. The flow of current through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference established across the conductor, provided its physical conditions like temperature, pressure, density, volume are constant. Let's have a look at the next question. Question number 8, section B, the second part. Below is the diagram of a transformer. Identify the type of transformer, the first part. Second part says, in this type of transformer, which of the wire is thicker, the primary or the secondary, and give a reason. This is asked for 3 marks. So first is, it's a step down transformer. And the answer to the second question is, wire of secondary coil is thicker because secondary current is higher than the primary current. Now we are supposed to study the diagram and answer, calculate the total resistance of the circuit and calculate the current drawn from the cell. We are also supposed to state whether the current through 10 ohm resistor is greater than, less than, or equal to the current through 12 ohm resistor. So 10 ohm and 6 ohm are in series, hence equivalent resistance, that is R1 will be 10 ohm plus 6 ohm, that is 16 ohms. 12 and 4 are in series, hence equivalent resistance is going to be R2 is equal to 12 plus 4 ohms, that is 16 ohms. R1 and R2 are in parallel, hence the equivalent resistance, that is given by R1 times R2 by R1 plus R2, that is 16 multiplied by 16 by 16 plus 16, that gives you 256 by 32, and that is 8 ohms. Current is given by V by R, so 4 volt by 8 ohms, that is 0.5 ampere. And the last part, that is C part, the current in both the resistors is equal because both the arms have the same resistance value. So let's have a look at the 9th question of section B. 85 gram of water at 30 degrees Celsius is cooled to 5 degrees Celsius by adding certain mass of ice. Find the mass of ice required. Now specific heat capacity of water is 4.2 joule per gram degree Celsius, right? And the specific latent heat of fusion is 336 joule per gram. So here, let the amount of ice be m grams. So heat lost by water will be m times C times the change in temperature, that is 85 multiplied by 4.2 multiplied by change in temperature 30 minus 5, that gives you 25. And the heat gained by the ice will be Q1 plus Q2, that is m times latent heat plus m times C times change in temperature, that is m multiplied by 336 plus m multiplied by 4.2 multiplied by 5 minus 0. And then applying the principle of calorimetry, we get heat lost by water is the same as heat gained by ice. And once you get this equation and solve further, you get the value of m as 25 grams. So the mass is 25 grams. Let's have a look at the next question. It says, why does it become pleasantly warm when the lakes start freezing? Second question says, water freezes to form ice. What change would you expect in the average kinetic energy of the molecules? Which will contain more heat energy, 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees or 1 gram of water at 0 degrees Celsius? So the answer to the first one is, when lake freezes, it releases latent heat to the atmosphere, which warms the atmosphere. So the atmosphere becomes pleasantly warm. The second part says, that is the answer to the second question, as water freezes, the average kinetic energy of the molecules decreases, which produces ice. Due to dropping of temperature of water molecules, they also hold to one another to form a crystal. Part C, 1 gram of ice, which is solid, at 1 degree Celsius has extra heat in the form of its latent heat, while 1 gram of water at 1 degree Celsius has no latent heat. Hence, heat energy in 1 gram of ice at 0 degree Celsius has more heat energy than the 1 gram water at 0 degree Celsius. And let's see the third part. State one factor that affects the magnitude of induced current in an AC generator. A is number of turns in armature may be increased. B part. Given below is a circuit to study magnetic effect of electric current. ABCD is a cardboard placed perpendicular to the conductor XY. A magnetic compass is placed at the point P of the cardboard. P1 and P2 are the positions of the magnetic compass before and after passing a current through XY respectively. So we are supposed to name the rule that is used to predict the direction of deflection of the magnetic compass. Second is state the direction of current in the conductor x to y or y to x when the circuit is complete. And then if the resistance R is increased, then what will be the effect on the magnetic lines of force around the conductor? 3 questions. So first is Maxwell's right hand thumb rule. Second is deflection being clockwise, the direction will be from x to y. And for the third one, as R increases, current decreases. So strength of magnetic field decreases and hence the density of magnetic lines of force also decreases. So we have covered the sample paper of Physics 2025 for ICSE board. Keep practicing children, all the best and keep learning with top scholars. Thank you so much.